Hi guys, and welcome to Orchids 365. Class is in session. So, I had a viewer comment to me about Oncidiums, and honestly, Oncidiums and I have had, I would say, a love-hate relationship. So I decided to call this lesson Oncidium Care 101. It's not you, it's me. I have failed the Oncidiums several times, and that is why I became a better grower at it. So I decided to put together this fun little lesson, kind of like what I do with my students. I have a few pointers up on the board, and I'm gonna share pretty much my experience mixed with research I have done. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope this is a fun new series, and maybe it'll be something that I can do more often. Let's get started. So the first thing we have to talk about is the Oncidium care. Now, orchids, the genus are like endless. So the genus Oncidium, founded, as far as I read the research, 1800s, okay? And I thought it was cute that it said it was a symbol of love, talent, and grace. That doesn't help you care for it. I just thought it was a cute fun fact to add on to there. So, I, of course, have visuals. You know why, guys? There are several types of learners. You have the tactile learners, and they have to be hands-on. You have auditory learners, you have visual learners. So I feel like when I learn, you can talk to me, you can give me the best research, the best information, but if I don't keep it moving, if I don't get my visuals, I am gonna lose interest like this. I am visual, hands-on, always on the move. If I sit at a meeting and somebody's trying to tell me about a new concept, and I am not participating, it's not interactive, I just tune out. So I thought, let's do something fun. And everybody's welcome here to comment. This is a safe place. Nobody here is perfect, okay? If you haven't killed an orchid, come on guys, how do you learn? So don't be so hard on yourselves. So without further yapping, let's start with, to me, the biggest thing, the pseudobulbs. Pseudobulbs. I said that too fast. So these guys right here are the pseudobulbs, and Oncidiums are, how can I say, they like to communicate with you. They're communicative orchids, right? So for example, this Oncidium right here, if you look at the pseudobulbs, okay, they are looking like they're happy. There's no shriveling, and I even have this new growth right here that we'll talk about later, and that's where you always get those flower spikes. This is sitting in practically no media. I put a little bit at the top so it wouldn't fall out, in a crazy concrete pot that I made 5 years ago, and she's happy. She's basically growing in a rock, okay? On the other hand, this one right here is telling me, Roxy, I'm thirsty. See the shriveling? You don't want that. You want happy, plump pseudobulbs. So this one has been neglected, and yes, I am going to take it apart and pot it up real pretty and give it the care that she needs. So you don't want to see your pseudobulbs dry up. They like to be watered. They like to dry out in between, but they don't like the gap, between the watering, okay? I'm gonna get back to that in a sec. So I'm gonna follow my timeline because I get distracted. So the light, it varies from bright to nearly direct. It depends on your space, okay? So if you can give your Oncidium between 1 to 5 hours of light a day, you are good, okay? So if you're having a problem with getting them to bloom, light is key. There's of course all the other factors, but you need to give them maximum of 1 to 5 hours. In that 5 hour, I would do the 5 hours. That's what I do with mine. So that's what you want to do as far as lighting. Now back to what I was talking about, the watering and the shriveling of the pseudobulbs. It needs to dry at least halfway, okay? Doesn't have to dry all the way, but it needs to dry halfway, okay? It all depends on your growing conditions. This has to do with your watering habits. Are you an overwaterer? Are you an underwaterer? Then, you might want to consider, okay, you have to wait. However, you shouldn't wait till it dries out completely, because then you're going to end up with the shrivelly bulbs, okay? So there's this thing that I thought was interesting that said something about an accordion growth. And sometimes, like, this one doesn't have it. I was trying to see if this one this one just has the shrivelly bulbs, but it'll grow a leaf and it'll do like this little accordion effect. It's kind of like when you fold the paper back front, and it does like an accordion effect. That means you left too much time between watering. Some people see it and they're like, oh my god, what's wrong with my Oncidium? It has something. It's just that you're taking too long between waterings, and it does not like it. Like I said, the Oncidium, how I've learned, is communicates with you through the pseudobulbs, through the leaves. It tells you. They do often get spots. I have the chocolate Oncidium. I can take the camera over there and show you. Often get spots, and it's common, like the spotting in the tips. However, what you don't want to see is yellowing of the leaves, because that could mean you're over watering. Now, as we continue with the lesson, I went back, I checked the video, and I realized you probably couldn't see most of my face for the whole time, but I was giving you really good information, and I was giving you good visuals, and I was so concerned with the orchids coming out and the samples that I was giving you. So hopefully it won't be a problem. I think the information is good. For next time, I will take that into account. And this is my first one, so hopefully you will enjoy it, and this information will help you. For the remainder of the portion, I will sit here, and I can end with fertilizing and pot. So what is recommended? Let's get in bark is recommended. A nitrogen formula, half or full, which is like a 30-10-10. Personally, I've never tried that, but I wanted to share the information that I researched for you. While plants are in active growth, of course, that's when you do that. And as spikes are forming, they recommend a 10-30-20, which is something I might try. That's a good one, because it may give you, more flowers or bigger flowers. It recommends the 20-20-20, which I call the blue stuff, and other media or other mounts. So they were recommending a nitrogen formula if you're sitting in just bark. Mine don't sit in pretty much anything. This is sitting in a pure concrete pot, pretty much without media. I put some at the top when it was growing because it was falling over. And this one I haven't got to repot yet, but I dropped her in one of my mosaic pots to let her air out. But apparently she's not liking that I haven't repotted her, so I gotta work with her. But I feel like she was the perfect visual for the pseudobulb, showing you that I'm thirsty, mom, you're not doing a good job. So here we have a new growth. She's very happy. And on this side, which I don't know if you can see it, but I'm gonna go make sure, this is my biggest, oldest, most beautiful Oncidium. I'm gonna flip it and I'm gonna talk to you about this one. This Oncidium has about 5 or 6 of these spikes and is sitting in absolutely no media, and I have not cleaned her up because I do not like touching them when they are in spike. So she has some leaves and she has but as you can see from the roots, she's sitting in absolutely nothing, and guess what? She's happy. Her pseudobulbs are all plump. She's not thirsty. She's just happy-go-lucky. But you have to go in there and you have to cut and clean and just cut off anything that's dry and crispy, and that's what I do after she blooms. But I am looking forward to sharing this with you. So you know what? My mother-in-law had this in her backyard on a rock, full sun. So I'm just sharing about different environments and different backyards here in Florida. And when she sold the house, I got a division from it because I'm like, oh, she's so pretty, I want to put. And this thing, monstrous, and loving the light. When I'm telling you this thing was full sun, here she kind of has like filtered light, but she's been with me for quite some time. I would say over a decade. Okay, so I am very proud of what I'm doing with this one, and I'm still learning, you guys. I'm still learning. I'm doing a really good job with this one. Again, she's sitting in this crazy concrete pot that I made. Like, I made it 5 years ago. And she started just growing and climbing, and she's super happy. So she's basically doesn't have anything. I threw some charcoal and leca in there because I needed to add some weight and I need to prop her up. But she has new growth, and from those new growths, from the Oncidiums, when you see that, usually you get your spikes from there. So yeah, she needs propping. I need to clean her up as well, and I need to actually pay attention to her because she's telling me that I am neglecting her. So I wanted to share that with you. And it says here, before I forget, you have to pot during the initiation of a new growth. Anytime is okay because they grow year round, just not while they're in spike. And it needs to be evenly moist, but in a breathable potting media, which explains why for me, having almost nothing as the media, at least in my area here, is helping me keep them happy and healthy. So I have one work in progress here, one basically established and super happy, the other one monstrous happy, and then the other one that I have, I will show you back here, which is a very favorite classic, which is the chocolate, which is a division from Maria. And I wanted to show you here that spotting is perfectly common in this one and in most Oncidiums. This one may be a little bit thirsty, and she's telling me, but she's growing happily there and always blooms. And I believe with this one I have showed you every single Oncidium that I have. So this makes, I think this is my first one, and then I have those two, and then I have that huge one. So little by little, we're gonna make this happen. I really enjoyed playing teacher and having an orchid classroom setup. I want your feedback. Please give me your feedback. If you enjoyed this, if maybe I was going too fast. I think this would be such a fun video to try one day on a live where you can actually interact with me and I can answer your questions and we can just talk about our experiences growing a specific genus of orchid. With that being said, Yolanta, I hope you're watching. You inspired me because you were asking me in one of my videos about the Oncidiums, and you know, and I was like, wow, I can relate to her so much. So I hope this information was useful. This is a mix of my experience and any information that I used about fertilizing or lighting or anything was from the AOS website. It's absolutely free and I love it and I highly recommend it because nowadays you have to be careful. Everybody puts stuff out there and everybody is an expert and they will tell you how to do things. They will tell you what to put in your plants. In the end of the day, you have to cite your references. You know, you have to be careful. You can take a little bit from every video you see, but in the end of the day, your backyard is your ecosystem. Remember that. And depending on where the light hits, what area you live in, what state, what country, you have to try everything out because some people have Oncidiums growing in bark and they're fine. Some people have them growing in moss and those two did not work out for me at all. It just led me to rot. So I started growing them practically bare and so far so good. And a little bit of this, you know. And so yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys, you know, don't be intimidated. And yeah, you're gonna probably kill an orchid or two on your journey, but hey, that's what makes us good growers, right? And also being honest with each other, okay? So always remember to please be kind. I'm looking forward to have fun and do more of these videos. Nothing, and I just really want your feedback. So class is dismissed and always remember to be kind. See you next time. Bye.